In 2024, Japan's annual number of births dropped to 680,000, falling below the 700,000 mark for the first time. Back in 2016, the number had just dipped below 1 million at 970,000. So in just a few years, the number of children born in Japan has plummeted, and this downward trend shows no sign of stopping. Speaking from my own experience living and working as a salaryman in Japan, I have to say, having and raising children is becoming more and more unrealistic. I'm 30 years old, single, no partner, no kids, just your average Japanese office worker. Today, I'd like to talk about why young people in Japan are no longer having children from my personal perspective, backed by real numbers, statistics, and the everyday realities I face. I graduated from university and started working at the typical Japanese company. But honestly, I can't imagine a future where I have children. It feels like a distant dream, completely out of reach. Because raising a child or even thinking about marriage requires not just money, but also time, mental space, and overall life stability. And with my current income, right around the national average of 4.5 million yen, living alone in a big city like Tokyo or Osaka, the best I can do is maybe save 50,000 yen in a month. And that's if I really cut corners. Urban rent is high. After taxes, there is food, utilities, phone bills, student loan repayments. You have to cook at home, barely go out, and skip most luxuries just to break even and save a little. And on top of that, the cost of raising a child in Japan is overwhelming. Even if your child goes through the public education system from kindergarten to university, it still costs around 8 million yen. If you go private all the way, that jumps to nearly 20 million yen. Back in 2019, then Finance Minister Taro Aso made headlines when he said to live comfortably and securely in retirement, you'll need around 20 million yen in savings. That was before inflation hit Japan like it has now. So it's probably more than that today. You see where I'm going with this, right? Most young people in Japan are struggling just to take care of themselves. Raising kids? That's out of the question. With Japan's aging population, pensions are shrinking, and many of us feel like we'll have to work forever just to survive. So younger people are trying to build up savings and investment, hoping to create some kind of safety net. But let's be real, families with enough room to raise children comfortably are rare, and these birth rate numbers prove that. So naturally, you'd hope the government is doing something about it, right? When in reality, the ruling LDP has always catered to the elderly. Why? Because seniors make up over 30% of Japan's population as of 2024, and that's a demographic that decides elections. So public funds are poured into healthcare and pensions, while social security costs are rising. And as a result, young working people are left with less and less take-home pay. If you work full-time, it's rare to leave on time in Japan. Overtime is the norm. You come to exhausted with almost no free time. So from my perspective, having kids now feels like a luxury, something only the financially secure elite can afford. Now you might understand how hard it is to raise kids in Japan today. But it's not just about money or policy. Our values as a society are also changing. It used to be that adults were supposed to get married and have children. That was the norm. There was a kind of social pressure to follow that path, but that pressure is fading. Younger generation in Japan are starting to question those old assumptions. If you look on social media, people are openly debating whether marriage and kids are even necessary anymore. And with the cost of living and emotional toll of parenting rising, the stigma of not marrying or having children has almost disappeared. Instead, the idea of living happily without marriage or kids is totally valid and your personal choice. It's becoming the new normal. Biologically, maybe it goes against the idea of species preservation, but honestly, I think having the diversity of values and ways of living is something to be celebrated, and personally, I don't hate it. So that's my take on Japan's declining birth rate from the viewpoint of an ordinary Japanese worker. What about in your country? How do people view marriage and raising children? Let me know in the comments. And if this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.